Alright everyone, welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors. The video you're about to watch here is going to be a compilation video. I think last year I did just the coyotes, but this year I'm actually going to throw fox and badgers in this video as well. I only ended up catching 2 of each, and one of them actually happened to be a double with a coyote. So yeah, I just threw the fox catches and the coyote catches in there as well. I tried to weave in as much of the information as I could, like the locations I was in, why the sets were there, that type of information. I understand that some of the clips just kind of abruptly start and stop. I didn't want to leave in a lot of the kind of random me just talking about something, whatever was going on that day. I didn't want to really leave too much of that in this video, just keep it so the video ain't, an hour long. But yeah, so this video will be just coyote, fox, and badger catches that I made through the season. They're going to go in order from the first catch I made this season to the last. Yeah, I think that's about all I have for that. I hope you guys enjoy. Well, alrighty there, guys. If you guys know anything about me turning you guys on while I'm out on the line, it usually means something good. I'm to the first spot here. The wind's blowing really bad from behind me here, so I'm going to try and keep you out of the wind. I'm going to show you my catch here, but what we got, there's just a tree line. This is actually an old road, and they just let it grow over with trees. I've catches here every year, seems like, since I've kind of figured out where to put my set. So I have one set right here, right at like the beginning of this grass, kind of. It's up in there far enough so if somebody drives, on the dirt, they're not going to run over my set. And going this way, it's a big tree line. It goes down a half mile, and then it turns and goes this way over towards some of these trees. And then we obviously got a cornfield that's not finished picked here. They just kind of opened up the headlands on the edge of it here. And all I did is I just kind of walked down this edge because I didn't want to walk out on the field yesterday because it's muddy. Everything's a little hard and crunchy this morning because it's below freezing. But we look like we got ourselves a pup coyote here. So again, just right along the edge of this. I can't trap that other side over there. So what I did is I had Gusto, which is a very strong skunky smelling lure here, with the idea that the wind would be blowing my scent across this tree line. If they're running this, hopefully it will catch them as they go by. If they're running that side over there, hopefully it, the wind will blow my scent across. He's laying down there. I thought they'd be a little muddier, but I'm kind of wondering if he didn't get caught. Obviously, probably after it rained is what I'm guessing. My trap looks like it's froze full of mud there. It's got my set tore up nice, so really a little bit of a chore getting it reset. But first catch of the season, coyote on the first. Well, I guess this would be the third and fourth traps I checked, because I did check a couple raccoon sets with nothing this morning. So all right, my hands are freezing already, so we're gonna get this guy taken out of here and we'll move on with our line. But I wasn't expecting to catch anything, so the fact I got one here is an added bonus. He's not terribly well furred the way it looks, but he's a small pup. He's just pup from this year, so, and he's wet a little bit too, and that might make him look a little rougher. But we're on the board. First stop of the morning, or first true stop. Like I said, I did check a couple right by the house there, but first stop of the morning, we got an animal in the truck already. So season's off to a start. Let's go. All right, we'll turn you guys on if I have something else for you. All right, guys, we're moving through the line. I've had a few dog proofs messed with. The ball's knocked off. You know, so something come along and ate my paste, or wind knocked them off for all I know, because it's still blowing like 20 plus out here. It is raw and cold, so we're gonna keep this short and sweet. I'm back here by this feedlot again. Last year I had a set down here that I think I caught one skunk early in, but that was it. So I didn't put a set there. And then over here I had 2 sets last year, and the one farther down that way is the one I caught almost, I think, all the animals over there. So I only put one, it's about right here. And that one had nothing in it. And over here, just got this single tree. They haven't worked this bean ground here. So I wanted to make sure my set was off of the edge. So I'm back like, you know, here, you know, so the edge would be like right through here. So I wanted to make sure I was off so they don't work it up. But as you can see, I got myself a nice big coyote. If I was a betting man, it's a male, just because it stinks like urine here. So I'll still use my fox urine like I always do, but I was hoping to see you guys, he quit moving so you get a little better look of him. But nice big coyote. The rancher here actually kind of told me there wasn't much sign, but yesterday when I was here, like coming right along this edge, it looked like a fresh set. I think it was going this way, headed this direction. But with the northwest wind blowing kind of in my face, this set was set up perfect for the coyotes to be running the edge here. So nice big coyote. He looks skinny, if anything. Like size wise he's big, but he looks skinny if anything. But and again, my trap is, that trap is solid mud. So I grabbed a brand new clean one. For the next couple days, that's probably going to be what I'm going to do. If I don't need it, you know, if I can dig the mud off of that thing, we'll reuse it. But otherwise, it may be just putting a clean one there. I don't have time to be screwing around cleaning a lot of mud and fiddling with them to get them work. And if there's any mud still on there, that dirt, muddy dirt, is going to freeze and it'll lock my traps up. I had that happen right at the end of last season, and I had a couple raccoons I caught on a snowy day, and it mudded my traps up, and I should have replaced them. Because when I went to pull those sets, my traps were froze rock solid to the ground. So, and that's with peat moss under them and over them, whatever. The traps are literally froze up because the mud, you know, the dirt froze, locked everything up. So we're not going to risk that this year because, again, I'm running a short period of time here. But let's see, I got only one more spot that has 3 coyote sets and 1 raccoon set in it, and we'll be done for the day. So fairly quick run of the line, but again, I only had 3 dozen traps out. I got 5 animals caught now in 32 sets, so that's pretty good average. I don't really care who you are. So all right, we'll get this guy taken care of, get him out of here, get me back in my truck where it's warm, because it is not out here. Well, boys and girls, I hope you can hear that. I thought there was a chance I might get skunked today. We're down to the last 2 traps. I got one more. The one, it's over the hill over here that I had the raccoon pulled out the last set of the day yesterday. And I have one again on this side of the hill. So we got, you know, that bigger slough is right over here where some of these trees. We got a big chunk of wildlife over here and another slough kind of behind my truck here. I don't know why I'm hiding, but trying to get out of the wind for you. But there's this bigger slough and a chunk of CRP grass along the edge. And I've seen it after it snowed a few years ago, the coyote come out across right here on the edge. Wow, that's loud. And then he went up along the fence line up here. So I thought, well, we'll put a set here. And I think in like the 3 years I've had it here, I think I've caught a coyote here every year. So boy, I hope you guys can hear that because it is loud. Yesterday, right up here is that feedlot. So yesterday up there is where I had the coyote caught. So, but yeah, so I just had a dirt hole set. This rock was my backer here, just kind of set up. While I was digging my trap bed, I actually run into my stake from last year, which kind of surprised me. But so I literally, it's in the exact same spot as it was last year. So that is loud. Wow. So yeah, didn't get skunk today, which is surprising. Surprised I had as good a day yesterday as I did. So yeah, like I said, I got a nice coyote. Looks like it's very well furred. The hackle, it's got a cool hackle on him. Like, see how it like goes all the way down the back of his leg? It just kind of looks odd, but he's not really dirty the way he looks either, because he's caught on the grass here. So, well, we're gonna get this one, this guy out of here, and the set remade. All right, I'm tired of listening to this guy. He is loud. I've had him bark, but man, he's going crazy. No wonder you can hear him, you know, when you're deer hunting or whatever for so far. Man, I imagine you could hear him for a couple miles, but all right, we'll get him out of there. We're gonna keep pounding in muskrat sets. We're not skunk for the day. What I have here, and I'll show it a little more when I get out, but I have a tree line of pine trees here. It's just a windbreak out in this field. Years ago, a lot of guys put these in, and then now a lot of people are tearing them back out. And then, so this tree line right here comes up and butts up basically to this fence row, and then that wildlife is like 100 yards over there. And I don't know, I come out here a few years ago in the middle of the winter and made a stand right here, a coyote calling stand, calling into this big slough, and this whole area was just covered up with coyote tracks. So I talked to the farmer. He actually talked to me that day when I was walking out of here, you know, and we had a good chat, and I asked him, well, do you mind if I ever trap out there? And he's like, no, catch everyone you can. So that's kind of how I run into all these spots. And like I said, I found this particular spot just by pure accident. So I really don't know what the coyotes are doing here, if they're running the fence row, if they're running the wildlife out here, or if they're just running this tree line from a wildlife that's a mile over to this wildlife. Wind checking it, scent checking it, whatever you want to say. I really don't know why this is the hot spot, why they focus down on this one location, but they do. So so I have a catch and I have a miss, which is kind of a oddity, let's put it that way. But so these were two traps I just set yesterday, and I was talking in the truck because of the wind, and I do think the wind is going down today. So I talked about a miss. He dug me up, and you can see he scratched all of this all up too. So I don't know, we're gonna have to see if we can get this guy reset down in here. So there was actually already a dirt hole there, and a coyote looked like it had looked into the dirt hole. So I basically put my trap right where the coyote had stepped. But on this side, we did not have a miss. So I haven't done a lot of pipe dream sets. Last year was my first year trying, and then I obviously put a few out again this year, and this is a pipe dream set. I don't know if you guys could see it, but my pipe is right here, sticking out of the ground still. But we got ourselves a pretty nice looking coyote. Good sized dog here. Looks like he's pretty well furred. He's completely furred. He's all puffed up. He looks like he's cold, because I'm cold. So again, we have this tree line, and it runs, I don't know if it runs the full mile or it runs darn near the full mile. That direction, like I said, we got this big wildlife and just a fence line. It goes up to some trees up here, but it literally dead ends at the road just past these trees. There's a road there, and then it stops. But either way, this trap was here one day, and we made a catch. So got him kind of toe caught. He's got like up to his pad in there, which ain't as deep as I'd like, but if this guy was the digger from over here, you know, that's how you end up with some odd catches, I think, is they try to dig you up. But either way, we'll remake both these sets. We'll get this guy out of here. Stacking up a song dog on a day I didn't figure I'd probably catch too much. So, and again, this is south is this direction, north is that way, obviously west is behind me. So I elected to put it on this south northwest corner with the idea that with a northwest wind, which is our predominant wind, and the way it's blowing now, that the animals will be running down this side of this thing. So I basically put it right on the corner here. Again, this field is not worked either, and I don't know if the farmer is going to work it, but I also tried to like tuck it right up to the corner with the idea that if he worked this edge, he'd miss it, and maybe if he worked along here, he'd miss it without, so he wouldn't work my set under. But all right, I'm getting cold. I got 2 sets to remake here. We got ourselves a nice dog here. All right, guys, Dad called it this morning. When we were just getting going, he's like, oh, you're gonna have a coyote back here. And sure enough, we got ourselves a coyote, and a big one at that. So we're by this feedlot. I caught a coyote the first check over here by that tree, just down this tree fence line here. This was just a flat set with some castor and gusto on there and a little urine. I wanted to make sure it was off the edge of this in case they worked this field. We got ourselves a real big looking coyote. Don't look like he's maybe the best furred coyote of all of them I've caught. He's got a lot of fur. It just looks like his guard hairs are kind of thin, but big coyote, nice silvery kind of looking one compared to the ones I've been catching. So yeah, like I said, it was just a flat set right here, just set along the edge here. I do think the coyotes actually will, like, you know, they scent check the edge here, but I do think they actually traveled through this little tree rows here. So yeah, I just had it along the edge with the idea that my scent would be blowing into these trees. So yeah, like I said, nice big coyote. All right, guys, well, we got some interesting developments. Couple places down from where I had that skunk caught. Again, we're just remaking coyotes or remaking raccoon sets or reluring them, putting some fish oil scent trails to them. But I do have one coyote set on this chunk of land. So the main yard is right over here. I got some dog proofs in there. Normally I catch a raccoon or 2 out of there every year. They actually use that farm, and they say they see them. I just don't typically catch a lot out of there. But what I have is there behind this house, it's a whole hillside chain of hills here, and all draws and woods, and none of it's pastured anymore, and it runs for miles each direction. I was coming on the road over here. I was gonna just come out. This is one I set just a couple days ago, but the deer are always here. You know, like right here's deer tracks, there's a deer track. They come out this little gate, and they tend to step in my trap and set it off here. So there is actually no urine on this particular trap. It's just bait and lure. And you guys could see, we got ourselves a catch. But the funny thing is, I was over on this road behind me, and down here in the corner, so the road kind of goes right here and then goes down the hill, like behind this, right through here, it goes down the hill. And there was 2 deer standing right out here. I'm like, oh, that's kind of odd. It's 11 o'clock in the morning right now. So it's kind of odd that the 2 deer standing out in the wide open field there, but they were looking this way. So I'm like, well, God, do I got a catch out there? I didn't even look. I thought, well, I'm going to come check this trap anyway. So I'm like, I don't need to look at it with binoculars. I'm just going to drive out there. Well, here, I get like, there's a sign right over here. I'm like, oh, it looks like something out there. So I look, and it looked like a coyote standing here. So I'm like, awesome, I got a coyote. And those 2 deer were just staring at this coyote. Well, I don't have a coyote. I don't know, this badger must have been setting up on top of his dirt hole or dirt pile here. We got ourselves a great big badger. He hasn't even hardly moved since I got out here. He's just been kind of laying there like flat to the ground, like I don't see him type of deal. We got ourselves a big badger, big white guy. Nice silvery colored. I thought maybe running a short season this year I wouldn't catch him, or catch any, but I was wrong. So yeah, we got kind of a mess. We got a ridge of dirt, a big pile. Like the worst part is he's got 6-8 inches above where my trap bed was. And then normally my dirt hole would be on this side of my trap. So we're gonna have to try and get some of this dirt and this dirt pushed in to fill this part back in so I can make some kind of backer, because I like my foothold to be, you know, my set basically should be here looking with my dirt hole behind my trap. So yeah, we got ourselves a nice badger here. least got something to skin today. That skunk, like I said, he stinks, so I don't know if we'll do anything with him or not. But and then kind of a secondary development here. I don't know if you guys could see, but there's 2 sets of tire tracks here. Well, come to find out, yesterday the landowner come and put a ground blind right here. So apparently Mr. Badger didn't care about the ground blind, but I talked to him. He says leave it here. If I catch a coyote while they're deer hunting here, they're just gonna have to deal with it. But I don't know, I'm half tempted just to pull the set anyway, but he told me flat out, leave it there, because they want the coyotes caught out of here. So I don't know if that's gonna help me catch any coyotes with the ground blind sitting right there, but this is gonna take me a good minute, because I do not have a shovel with me this year. So it's gonna take me a good minute to get this set remade here. A badger. God, I got kind of excited when I thought I had a coyote out here, but a badger. I don't know. Like I said, we'll get this set remade the best I can here. We'll maybe video it when I'm done. I'll kind of show you what I did. Yeah, we'll get it remade here and move on. All right, guys, so we got that set remade here. So basically, I just tried to level the dirt off the best I can. I found just a few sticks that were amongst the dirt here to kind of throw as a backer. My trap is right here. There's my dirt hole. And I try to blend out all the handprints, footprints, or anything that I put around there to try and minimize any sign that I'm here in this nice fresh dirt. It also kind of makes it so if the coyotes come by or anything, you can see their prints really easily. But I'm not too worried about out here on the tire tracks. Again, with these guys deer hunting in here, they're going to be probably walking along and going right in here. So I can't really do anything about that. They're nice enough to let me trap before deer season and during deer season, so I can't really complain. Second thing on this trap, typically I don't make a lot of canine catches and traps I've caught badgers in, so with that, again, I'm not terribly concerned about catching a coyote right here anyway. So yeah, I just see there's a couple. Just trying to build up my backer just a little bit there. I typically don't try to touch anything with bare hands around any coyote sets. I use latex gloves, but all right, got the badger in the truck here. We're on our way. We got ourselves a problem here, but we'll figure that out as we go. So this is actually the field that I put some sets out here a couple days ago, and it was worked yesterday, so they worked up my set here. But you see, this guy was laying here. Looking from the road over here, I'm not that far from the road. I'm like, God, it just does not look right. But then I'm like, well, they worked my set under. But you could see he got tangled in barbed wire. So there is a fence here. And I tried to make sure that my set was out this way far enough so he couldn't get to the fence. But apparently, I don't know if the barbed wire was broken and then laying close enough so he could get to it. But he looks like he's got it tangled around himself and around my trap. Typically that's not great for the fur, so we're definitely going to have to do some looking there. Going to have to get it off of him, the trap, the whole works, and then I'll have to make sure that it's not anywhere behind where if I catch something else here you can get to. But yeah, so what we have is just a fence line. There's actually some bigger, like a wider fence line here, some trees. It goes down and it turns this way. I have a set over here by the grove I haven't checked, and one kind of by that other fence line I haven't checked. But all three were worked up yesterday, so I remade this set yesterday here and got ourselves a dark looking coyote. Get so I can see a little more. He's real tan colored, like this belly and everything don't have no white on it like some of the other ones I've caught. So caught deep in that MB 550 there, the way it looks. Like I said, I don't know how he got into the fence, but he did. Like I said, I have it far enough out. I didn't figure he could get up to it over there. You know, and I can see that he hasn't scratched like up around where that there's kind of an expanded fence right behind him there. So I don't know if the barbed wire was down and laying close enough he could get to it or what, but that's not great. All I got is a pliers to try and cut all that barbed wire. So hopefully I can get, don't look like it's on him too much. It's all around the trap, but that's not ideal. But yeah, we'll get him out of here and keep moving on. I can see that he's got a little white tuft white in the very tip of his tail there. Oh, now he's gonna move. I don't know. All right, like I said, we'll get him taken care of, get him out of here, and set remade. It's gonna take a minute for this set to get remade too, but I guess if you gotta slow down on the line because you're making too many catches, I guess that's an okay thing. Of course, today is the day that I want to do a few things at home once I get home, but apparently now I got some skinning to do, so. All right, like I said, we'll get him out of there, get the set remade, and off we go. All right, everyone, we're actually making really good time through the line. Everything's still been working as far as I can tell until now. So what we got, I showed this yesterday. I had a skunk caught right over here in front of this tree yesterday, and a pipe dream set. Big rock pile here. We got some standing corn still and a farmyard up on this end. Down on this end there's another yard. Going over here there's actually a pig barn back here, and then this row of trees. So this is like the center of this section, so it's a half mile from every road. But over here today, so yesterday it looked like maybe that skunk had been by this set, so I sifted just a sprinkle of fresh dirt on this set, and then squirted just a little bit of fresh urine on it as long as I was here, just to freshen it up a little bit. But we got ourselves a coyote today. He does not look real healthy. He's rubbed fairly bad the way it looks. Let's see if I can get him to move here. He's caught pretty deep in that MB 550. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to probably show it on camera, but like his sides and stuff, he just doesn't look right. Let's put it that way. But farmer here, the landowner that right up here, he'd be happy to know I got rid of one of them for him. But yeah, making her through the line, putting fur in the truck, even though like I said this guy probably ain't worth a whole lot. But we'll get him out of here, we'll get him home, and we'll take a good look at him, see how bad he really is. Like right behind his leg here, he's really looks like he's missing a lot of fur. But all right, another coyote. That's 7 now. This is the 9th check, 7 coyotes. So you know, I don't know if we'll make one a day average, but you know, not looking too bad now, that's for sure. Just kind of laying there hiding. He was actually sleeping when I first pulled up, like facing that way, kind of hiding up closer to this grass. I could see the bright reddish color of him. I'm like, oh, there is definitely something there. And been coming up from this way, I actually thought as red as he looks from like over here, that it might be like an actual red fox, but I haven't caught one yet this year. Maybe I kind of would like to catch one just to kind of add to the different species I've caught this year, but I'll take a coyote nonetheless. Alrighty guys, well, things are looking up today. We're down to 2 more traps to check. We got 1 to pull here, 1 more we drove by that was empty on this property, and then 1 more spot. But look at what we got sitting right here. There he is. Last day of the season, or last day coyote. This is the trap that I've had 3 pullouts. I've had 3 catches and had them pull out of this trap. And I swapped the trap after the second one thinking maybe it was the trap. But no, I had a miss almost right away after that. But today, this guy didn't get out of there. He's really tan colored, and he's really got a tall hackle on him, like all the way up the back of his neck. I hope you guys can kind of see that blowing in the, I don't know, got really long back hair the way he looks. But nice big coyote, a big male. If I was a betting man, just I can smell the urine, and typically that's usually the kind of the sign of a big male coyote. But so what I had here is where the trap is there. Right here, kind of right in this area, is where I had my dirt hole kind of dug into the side of this bank, but he's got her leveled off. I had like this rock kind of as my backer, and yeah, real nice coyote for the last day. Now, why wasn't every day in the season like this? Got 2 raccoons, 2 muskrats, and now a nice big coyote. That's kind of how I expect every day, but I don't know, makes 8 for the season and a 12-day season here, so it's not great, but it's not terrible either. We'll take him. Like I said, we'll get this guy out of here, we'll pull this trap, and we'll be moved on. By golly, everyone, there is a chance I don't suck as a trapper. You know, it's just a matter of time, honestly. So I got 40 coyote sets out, you know, to check today. I'm probably 25 of them in. You know, like I said, coyote sets is just, this is the 3rd check on them. Yeah, 3rd check on most of the, you know, like 25 of them. And then I added a bunch the next day, and I've added some yesterday too. So it's like they just got to settle in a little bit. This particular set, that maybe isn't the case. We'll show you what we got going on here. But like I said, it's just a matter of time. I'm gonna make coyote catches. It's just, you know, if you've watched any of my videos, it's boom or bust. I mean, I obviously went yesterday with 0 catches, the day before with just a skunk and a rat, you know, and I could have 5 coyotes caught today. You know, it's just a matter of the right weather conditions, the right animals walking by your sets, you know, that type of stuff. But what we got here is there's an abandoned farm place here. This set here, I had the big skunk in the other day, so he kind of helped me out, I feel like. But look at the hole this guy's dug. He was laying in this hole. All I could see was his neck and his ears from the road over here. You know, I would check it with binoculars anyway, but I was like, something just doesn't quite look right out there. And I was right. Man, he like dug all the dirt from over there and piled it up over here on this side of my set. So, you know, and the skunk kind of sprayed, I mentioned. The skunk kind of sprayed. I was over here trying to inject him, and then I was over this way trying to inject him because the wind was kind of in our face as we're looking here. And so remaking the set wasn't bad, but man, it still smells like skunk in here. And it wouldn't surprise me if Stinky Magoo here smells like skunk too, just from rolling around in the dirt. Looks like a pretty well-furred dog, you know. Not as tan as some of them. He's a little more silvery, but kind of got that I'm not going to look at you type of thing going on here. If I don't look at him, he don't look at me. But yeah, he's got you know, it's 6-8 inches deep right in here. He's got all the dirt piled up over there. So before I remake the set, we'll try and get some of that dirt kind of leveled off. You know, and honestly, like, as lumpy as it was here, because it was froze, like over here when they worked the field, they didn't even dig into the ground at all. So it was real lumpy, and it was hard to even make a good set. So the skunk almost leveled it off a little bit, making it a better set. And now this guy here really did a job of leveling it off. So it should, I mean, I got plenty of nice loose dirt to sift, and it'll be probably the best set that this set's been since I put it here, to be honest. So, and all I had kind of, there's a wood stick right here, and there's another one right here. I kind of just had those as my backer after I caught that skunk. You know, now there's some grass and stuff. A guy can make kind of a trash pile set. So I never called them that. I still don't even really think I'm calling it probably the right thing, but a trash pile set, that's basically every time I make a catch, I take all this loose debris, you know, all this kind of loose grass, and I just kind of make a ridge behind my dirt hole. I don't know if that's really a trash pile set or not, but I just kind of pile all the trash behind my dirt hole as a backing. So, all right, like I said, we don't suck. The only fun part about this is I got a lot of gear in my truck here. Yeah, I got a lot of gear in here, so we're gonna have to probably move a few things around. I'm wondering if I can't get him like shoved in up over here. It's a good problem to have, but anyway, we'll give you one more quick look at him. Like I said, I was hoping he would move a little bit, but like I say, he's just kind of laying there. Got a real nice, you know, doesn't look like he's burred up or nothing really, so nice coyote. Got ourselves a little skinning to do tonight finally. All right. kind of the what come first, the chicken or the egg here, guys. What we got here, chunk of grass, so it's 100 yards up to the road that way, 100 yards up to the road this way. They got a cornfield. The farmer is actually working. He's right up here. And I just talked to him, trying to just tell him, just give me a little bit of berth here on the corner. And as I was sitting on the road over here waiting for him to come down, I was looking with the binoculars, I could see that guy. I thought, oh, that's awesome, you know, and I just told him, well, I'll probably be over here remaking a set. Pull off the road right up here on the corner. There's fresh digging from yesterday, because I was just out here yesterday because I'll explain. I had a pole standing here marking these sets, and my pole was leaned way over. So I come out because of the strong winds. So I drove out here. I thought maybe they were moved a little. I had catches. I didn't. I just reset my pole up. But anyway, there's fresh digging that was not there yesterday. Well, if anybody knows what this means. But the interesting part is, apparently he got caught and sat here for a bit and dug. And then he slid down my slide wire, or slide chain essentially is what it is, and we got ourselves a badger sitting right here in this hole. So what I have is I got both of these traps. I have one trap here and one trap right over there. I have them on slide wires to get the animals out here. See what this coyote's doing over here? He is laying down. You can't see him from the road. These sets are so close to the road that I don't want my animals sitting out here in the open exposed. But yeah, we got ourselves a badger right down in here. Doesn't look like a real big badger, but a badger. And then, so I don't even know, my set was right here. So right here's my chain. So I just have it on a slide wire. So it slides down and it's anchored right down over here. And then, so that was a flat set with a caster and gusto on there. And then right over here, I had a dirt hole. Right here's my dirt hole. And again, right here's my chain, the slide chain. And right out at the end of the slide chain is the old coyote. Real kind of tan, tawny looking coyote. Like even his face and everything is really tan colored. Caught deep in that MB 550 there. So it's kind of interesting. What come first? So right here's my gray fence post. What I do is I just stand that about part way down my chain and just stand it right next to my chain. So if an animal comes down the chain, they knock my pole over. If I can't see them, I can be up here on the road and I can check my for my fence post. If I can't see the fence post, then I know I got something caught out here. Because an animal like that, if you were up here on the road, you probably wouldn't see him if he's laying down like that. So, got myself, like I said, probably a pup, this year's pup. Looks a little rough on the back of his neck there, but I'm wondering if it just isn't burrs. Otherwise, he looks pretty well furred. So we got ourselves a nice double here. Coyote laying here. Right here's my fence post for this set. And a badger chilling in his hole over here. So we're gonna take a picture or two here, and then we'll get to work getting both of these dispatched and get the sets. I'm gonna have to get, I actually did throw a shovel in my truck over here, so I can shovel this hole back in. Luckily my set's over that way a little bit, and I'll get some of this dirt shoveled back into this hole here. The farmer doesn't want it out in the CRP, a big hole there, so. A badger and a coyote. That's a double I can take. I prefer not to have the badger, but you know, landowner's gonna be stoked about that. That's kind of what got me this place to trap to begin with, is the badger was digging holes all over the place on him. So like the first year, it took me a couple days and I had a badger caught out by the rock pile out here, and ever since I've been catching coyotes here and out there, and I think this is only the second badger now, but he's gonna be pretty excited about that. All right guys, we're moving right through the line. Well, I was. We've got quite a few. I'm just doing it in the truck here because it is windy outside. the wind's picked up now again out of the west, like, I don't know, over 15, I bet. So it's going to be tough to remake this set here. I don't know if you can hear that, but you might be able to figure out what I got caught here. We'll get out quick. We'll show you what we got going on here. It's a good thing. Show you what we got going on. Dang it, he's loud. Ugh. All right, so what we are, we're back by this Sioux in the corner here. That feedlot's up over the hill, but over the hill I got a coyote set over there again. And then right behind me here is where I had the misses early on. And I'm gonna go over why I think that happened, but I moved my set. So my set was right over here the first time around. I moved it over here because I figured I could get a better... He is loud. So, because I figured I could get my trap setting better here. And we'll go over here now. I'm going to explain what I'm talking about here. So I had my dirt hole like up here on the bank. Right here. Right here is where my trap bed was. But my trap is actually setting a little bit like this. Like, it wasn't setting flat. It was kind of on the side hill here. I know that's tough to see, but instead of setting, get you guys out of the sun here. Instead of setting flat like that so the animal's stepping straight down, my trap is actually at a little angle like that. And I'm wondering if that ain't what led to some of the misses I had. But I did have a coyote here on the pull day. But yeah, I just moved over. There was another there's a bunch of these old pocket gopher mounds here. And I just drilled a dirt hole into the side of it, which he's got blown out. But looks like a big coyote, a big male, I'm guessing, if I was a betting man. He's missing one canine on the bottom for sure, but an old guy fell victim here, so he is loud. But yeah, we'll take them. That's 3 coyotes for the day. I only got 2 more coyote traps left to check. The wind is so strong. I had to remake one coyote set here, well, between the Weasel and now. And man, I had a heck of a time remaking it. I couldn't even hardly get my peat moss out and the wind was blowing it away. So I'm out of the wind just a little here because of this hill right here, but we'll get this one remade 100% for sure, but I don't think I'm going to be adding any more today. Yeah, he's a talker. He's laying like tucked down like that when I pulled up. He was kind of over that way, laying there. So. All right. I'm done listening to him. We'll get this guy out of there and get my set remade the best I can here. Just gonna have to try and do the best I can getting a dirt hole in there. I may use that rock again as a backer just to kind of, and I do have the hill there, so they're naturally gonna wanna come on this side of the hill and step in the lower spot there, so, which happens to be where my trap is at. All right, we'll get him out of here. Definitely needed a day like today to kind of boost the spirits a little bit, I'll tell you. It's been a tough go of it all season, and you know, in one day here I've caught 1/3 as many coyotes that I've caught the whole rest of the season. You know, I had 8 up at before today. Now that's 11. So this is what I feel like coyote trapping should be for me. You know, maybe not a catch every day, but you know, multiples on the days I do catch. But all right, we'll get that set remade. Got quite a bit of skin ahead of me, like I said. As you can see, I'm not by a slough. I'm by a cornfield, and what we have here is we have a drainage ditch. It goes all the way up to where my truck parked on this into that woods, and it runs all the way over, like basically to this grove of trees. There's a big CRP over there. That's where I've been catching the raccoons in that grove, and where the mink just ate my muskrat. This ditch weaves its way all the way through there, and the farmer mowed it, and last year was the first year I put a set here. And I can check it from the road right over here. Basically, like right here, there's a tire. That's the road. But last year, I hoofed it all the way from over there out to here. Well, today, all I could see was his ears sticking up when I was sitting there. These corn stalks are blocking it just enough, these standing corn stalks. But when I put this set out here, I walked down this ditch. It's probably a little farther than walking, but this plowing is rough to walk on. But got ourselves a nice coyote here, a little bit on the darker side. He does have a few cockleburs in him, but I kind of knew that was going to happen because like right there, right here, this is a cocklebur. That's a cocklebur, and they're all over in this whole ditch. They must have been just thick in here, so there's a whole bunch right in here too. You know, like there's some cold clods of them. So I tried to move as many as I could out of where I figured the catch circle would be. This is how he was laying when I could see him up there, just hiding, but it's got deep in that MB 550. So what I have, a predominant wind's gonna be blowing this direction. So I have kind of a skunkier lure on here, GH2, and it blows right down this thing with a northwest wind. The last couple days has been kind of southerly wind, so it's actually blowing more like this. So kind of no matter which way they come from, the wind's going to be helping me, unless I get an east wind, which is going to be blowing that way. But anyway, this set's only been here 4 days, I think, and bingo, coyote got here. So, and I didn't have this set out the first time I was trapping this year because this corn, they hadn't even picked this corn yet. So yeah, pretty decent looking fur on this coyote. Like I said, he's got a few burrs in him, which I expected with the what was laying around here. Now the next catch shouldn't have that in there, but we'll get this guy out of there. Like I said, I don't know why, but the two sets that I got to walk out to happen to be the two sets I got catches in. This one and the one I had that big raccoon, the very first one. So I mean, this one isn't as far and it's significantly easier walking. That was tough walking out to where that raccoon is at, but you got to put your sets where the animals are, not where you want them to be. So I did notice walking out here, like on some places where the dirt's showing, like right here is a coyote print there and here and here. You know, so there's sign here. You know, there may have been more with this one here. So we'll reset this, and hopefully tomorrow there's another one waiting here. Back in this pasture, we got the big slough over here. I got the coyote set over on the other side of the hill. I had a coyote in that early on and nothing's messed with it, but apparently this corner is the hot corner. So here we go, we got a coyote. He's caught back to about the pad. He's not caught deep in there. Luckily, he was jerking pretty hard when I come over the hill over here, but he's kind of chilled out now. But I caught one coyote in here, the one I pulled the line the first day, and I had 3 misses over here, or catches that got out. And now this is the second coyote here. This one's quite a bit lighter colored than most. He's got a little black on the top of his back, but a lot more tan, not as many black guard hairs. What I had, you can't see real good, but right here is a rock. I had that as my backer, and then kind of over this way I had my dirt hole. So my set is about the lowest thing in here because my snap ring is above the ground right now. So they got my whole trap bed completely wallowed open here. So I'll have to try and dig that back down and bury the cable and everything. And then, so my trap is about the lowest thing in this whole area. So yeah, nice coyote, glad to have him. I don't know how I do it, but sometimes you just get that feeling that it should be good. I don't know, I think the wind actually was up a little higher all last night than what I thought it was gonna be anyway. I think it blew like 15, 20 most of the night, and it's been blowing like close to 15 all day. I'm hiding behind my truck here a little bit to get out of the wind, but I do have a catch here. So what I have is a drainage ditch back behind me here in the alfalfa field. So this runs up to that house up here, kind of actually, and then runs this way. I got a coyote set over there. And then the ditch runs here, runs around, and it gets over here by the fence line, and then it runs that way towards some sloughs. And I don't know, I found this spot kind of by accident a few years ago, but bingo bango, I called my shot, and there he is. I only got a couple more coyote traps to check here. I'm on the main line, and bingo, got myself a nice looking coyote, nice gray color, not quite as tan as some of them have been, or reddish color as some of them has been, but get a feel away still. Looks like he doesn't have a bird in him, just beautiful, clean looking coyote. He's made a mess of my set. So 2 days ago, the actual farmer, you can see all these scratch marks. He come and he went out here and he worked up, and he's actually driving around out here with a little payloader, but he worked around the ditches and stuff out here, and he actually run over that set with the tractor and actually set this one off with the digger teeth, or the not digger teeth, but anyway, the rake on the back of his digger set this trap off. So I had to remake them both when I was out here. That was the day the wind was blowing like 30 miles an hour, and I had to remake these two sets, but it was worth it now. Boy, I was kind of getting to wonder if it was going to be just a single muskrat for the day, but like I said, I do have a few more traps to check on the main line here, and happy to have him. That's number 14 for the year, which, you know, is about half of what a normal season would be for me. So, you know, and I don't know. I don't know if numbers are down or if what's really going on. I've had a few dug up traps and different things, so I think there's animals around. I'm just not catching them. But anyway, we'll get this guy out of here, get this set remade. He's got her pretty well leveled off the way it looks, but imagine with the farmer out here bouncing around, he's probably been jumping around for a while here. But all right, called it. Boom, coyote on the line. All right, we'll get him out of here, get moved on. All right, everyone, well, did not expect this, but glad to have it. Got another catch here. We're gonna get out and show you what's going on here. I'm right out in the wide open here. I mean, it's wide open field as far as you can see, except for over here on this side. Hopefully my truck is gonna block a little of the wind. Of course, I didn't park real close, and I don't want to be right next to it anyway, so what we got here, this is a little chunk of CRP grass. It's like 100 yards square right on the corner of two roads here. And because of that, I have my sets on slide chains. I used to have cables. I had 1/8-inch cables, and that worked very well. But I thought, well, they kept twisting them up. Every time you made a catch, it twisted up a little bit. So if you made one catch, essentially you had to remake it for the next year. So I made chains, and last year I had them here, and I never made a single catch with the chains. So what I did is I left these two chains. I actually made 3 of them, but there's 2 here. I let them hang outside on the front of my trapping shed all summer, well, basically for the last year. And then now this is the 3rd catch I've made here. I had a double here before. I had a coyote caught in one set and a badger caught in the other set. Today I just got a coyote out here. I'll ruin it for you. I got a coyote out here. I don't know if you guys could be able to see him, but he's right here. I know you're looking into the sun. We're going to get out and I'll show you what's going on here a little better, but just trying to explain a little bit so I don't have to, 1, stand out in the cold, and 2, so you guys can actually hear me. Because like I said, it's blowing, I think 18 last I looked, so out of the northwest here. So I'm surprised I made any canine catches with the wind blowing that hard, because it's been blowing like that all night. So all right, enough stalling. We'll get out here and show you the catch here, show you kind of the setup I got going on here. Let's go. Ugh. All right, again, so what we got is just this little square CRP on the corner of this guy's land here. There's a gravel road literally right there and one right over here. So what I have is, I have 2 sets here. I had a dirt hole right here, and then I actually just got a flat set right here, baited with Gusto and Caster. And then this chain here runs out at an angle, and what I do is I just have this post right next to my chain here. You can see the chain is right there. So if an animal goes by, they just bump this, it's going to lean it over. And I could see this one was leaning a little yesterday, but I could tell there was no catch here, but I couldn't see the second post today, and I'm not even sure where it is here. But this coyote, his front foot caught, but man, he really knocked down a huge area here. I don't know if he didn't slide down the cable or the chain all the way to begin with or what, but I'm not so sure. As far as he got here, I'm not so sure if I had a catch, because this one here is staked, I don't know, right here somewhere is the end of it. I don't even know. Oh, it's right over here. So it's staked here. These two catches probably could get close enough to each other. I wonder if that ain't why the badger was over here in this hole pulling away from the coyote I had here the other day. But that coyote is caught about as deep as you could get caught in an MB 550. But yeah, he's definitely got all the grass knocked down here. Decent looking coyote again. He's good size, big size coyote. Playing timid. My wind is blowing towards him, so that usually kind of settles him down a little bit, but nice to have on a day like today. I'd expected 0 catches today. I'll be flat honest with you. So the fact I'm going home with this guy and going home with that mink already, turning out to be an okay day on the line. So yeah, what I have, like I said, just a chain right here. What I do for this dirt hole, my trap bed is here. I kind of put my dirt hole off to the side, and then I'll dig like a little trench and kind of bury the first foot or more of this chain, and like my shock spring and everything is all laying kind of next to my, and then my trap here with this kind of tucked underneath the jaw of the trap. You know, and I have to have this at an angle because I can't have my dirt hole right where my chain is, you know, obviously. And that's actually where like a flat set like this actually works really nice, because you bury everything. So my chain is going right out here, but I have it kind of buried this far back, you know, to kind of, I guess, hopefully, you know, hide it a little bit so they don't notice it. But this one's going to be fairly noticeable now because he's got the grass all knocked down. But all right, one last quick look at him here, and like I said, we'll get him out of there. I don't know if you could see his foot in there, but his foot is actually bent like this because he's got his foot so deep into that trap that I don't think they could get their foot any deeper in there. So he was fully committed to that set. One thing I'll mention with these two sets, so I put them both on this side. This is the north side of this grass. This is east over this way, with the idea that they're gonna run along the edge here anyway, but my scent of these two traps kind of cut the corner of this, so I'm actually sort of protected with a predominant northwest wind in my area, so northwest is gonna blow this way. The scent of these two traps is blowing kind of around the corner of this grass. Well guys, I was thinking about this while I've been driving around here. Cold morning, you know, I figured the canines would move. They get lucky here. But I was thinking about this while I've been driving around. I'm like, man, I'm 20 checks in. This is the 22nd check of the season for me. And I have not caught a red fox yet. You know, and 2 years ago, I had 16 red fox. I caught more red fox, or just about more red, or the equal amount of red fox as coyotes. You know, I had 16 red fox and only 18 coyotes. Well, this year I only got 15 coyotes, but I have yet to catch a red fox. So I've been thinking about that honestly all morning. Like, you know, a couple years ago when I caught 16, you know, did I really hurt the population that bad? You know, like last year I think I had 3, which is more of a typical season for me. You know, so it's like, man, did I just clean out all the red fox? You know, kind of almost blaming myself, you know. And I'm not saying that none of that's true, but it was like, oh, you know, I wonder if I'm even going to catch one, because I only got, you know, 3 checks, including today. So 2 full checks plus today to get one caught. Well, with all that said, Bingo bango, we got ourselves a nice red fox, or a pretty good size red fox. What is he doing? Hey buddy, I don't want to look at your butt. You know, typical fox for my area. I mean, he looks well furred, just kind of got that gray butt, light, you know, prairie fox kind of look, which is very typical for my area here. So, but yeah, it was funny because I thought when I was driving, I drive on this road up past this farm place, and then I come down this road here. And when I was up there, I'm like, oh, it looks like something maybe bouncing around. But this little clod of corn stalks caught in this little bush right here look like a catch every stinking day. But I stop up here on the road and I check my set with binoculars. So on that other road, I'm like, oh, it looks like something maybe moving around out there. But I'm like, oh, I've been fooled every day. So I'm like, didn't even really pay no attention. Then I come down this road, I'm like, oh, it still almost looks like there's something laying there. And sure enough, this guy was laying like flat on the ground as low as he could get. And I was like, God, is that what I think it is? And sure enough, it is. So first red fox of the season. Glad to have him. Like I said, it's just kind of, I honestly, like all morning, it's so weird how things like this happen, but I've been thinking about this all morning. I'm like, God, you know, is there even any red fox still around here? You know, and I'm not blaming myself that I caught or killed every red fox in the country, but I mean, I definitely slow him down a little bit, but man, I don't know. Glad to have him. Glad to have it on a day I wasn't sure if I was even going to make a catch. We're good halfway probably through the line because I don't have any water sets out, so you know that shortens my line quite a bit. So good halfway through the line, nothing's been messed with, no set off that I could tell, and except for this one. So yeah, like I said, it's almost like serendipitous that all morning I've been thinking like, oh, am I gonna catch a fox? Is there even any fox around? And sure enough, I caught one. So I mean, I probably should let him go, honestly, with that same thought in mind, but we're definitely not. The sad kind of thing is other than an otter, this was the last animal I have for the Grand Slam, and I'm not going to catch an otter, so there's a very, very slim chance of catching otters. So yeah, it was kind of funny that a fox ends up being the last one. Usually it's like a weasel. Well, the last couple years that I've made it, it's been the weasel is the one that's kind of held me back, but a fox, out of all things, is one of the ones I couldn't catch. So, and I did. I don't know. It's a good sized fox, adult for sure, but we'll get him out of here, get this set remade. We'll get, use this kind of trash make a trash pile set. He's between this guy and the coyote I caught here. I caught a big male coyote here probably a week ago, maybe a little more. They leveled this set off real nice, rather than it being all clumpy, lumpy like this. They leveled her off real nice. So got a lot of nice soft dirt to sift and some nice trash here to make a trash pile set out of. All right. All right, everyone, we're most of the way through the main line. We only got a handful of sets left to check, but we made ourselves a catch again here. I don't know. It's kind of a funny thing to me anyway, but what we got here is, this bigger sioux here. Up over the hill, I have a coyote set. I caught a few muskrats in here. The otter were in this sioux a couple years ago, or last year and the year before, but right here, we got ourselves a catch. So I had my set there the first time around, but I had some misses and whatever there, and then I moved it over here. I've caught 2 coyotes in this set already, and now today we got a nice little red fox. Quite a bit smaller, I think, than the last one. The last one was a nice sized male, but this one looks quite a bit smaller. But it's kind of funny. I just come up over the hill here, and boy, you can't miss that. He wasn't even moving. He was just laying there. I'm like, oh, I know what we got down there. So I don't know. It's funny to me, honestly, that I go 22 checks before I catch the first fox, and now I catch 2 in 2 days. So I don't know. Like I said, this one's a little smaller than the other one, but glad to have him. We're going to take him home, give him a free ride back to the farm, and got a little work ahead of me today. I got a nice big raccoon, and we got ourselves a nice little fox. So yeah, it's just kind of funny to me that how things can go on the line. You know, I can't catch a fox all season, and now 2 in 2 days. So the only thing that does sort of tell me, and I mean it's not always true, but maybe I got the coyote numbers thinned down a little bit in this area. You know, I've got 3 just right here now, you know, and 1 more over the hill. That's 4 here, and then up here where these steel bins are, that's where that big feedlot is. I've got 2 more up there. That's a mile from here. So yeah, I've got 6 within a mile right here. You know, gives a little more room for the fox to run around if there ain't coyotes chasing them and killing them. So yeah, excited to have him. Like I said, well, I'm gonna remake this set because I got the one over the hill down there, and I feel like, I mean, this spot is worth it, and I only have 1 trap here. You know, put some gusto on here, which is what's here, and let my wind blow out over this field here, and hopefully bring the animals across, which is what I'm assuming is happening here. I mean, they may be running inside this pasture here. Today the wind is out of the south, so, you know, he might have been coming along, but this is a ways out from the fence for him to be, you know, like scent checking the fence line. But, and the reason why, part of the reason why I had it here, so I had it over here a little closer to the fence, but I want to make sure my animal can't get to the fence, right? So when I was looking for a new spot to re-put this set, like over in here was okay, but there was really no good like flat spot to put my trap, or like decent spot to make my set, I didn't think. And right here there was kind of a dirt mound here. The 2 coyotes really dug it up, and this rock was my backer here. But yeah, it's just, this seemed like a little better spot to put my trap, with the idea that my scent's blowing across this line and it's gonna pull them over here anyway. But all right, like I said, nice little fox. He's got kind of a, I don't know, it's maybe not, but he's got like black feet, which is normal, but then he's got like a white streak on the front of his leg there, which is kind of odd looking. But like I said, this one's quite a bit smaller than the one I had yesterday, but either way, we're gonna give him a ride back to the farm, and glad to have him. What we got here, we just got a farm lane here. I wouldn't even call it a dirt road because it's all grass. And basically what it is just so there's a couple farm fields up here. Well, actually starting right here. Right here, it's a crop change. I can trap this, but I cannot trap this. And they don't want me trapping out by the grass out there because they deer hunt. Like right now, I probably could drive out there and put a set, but you know, I'm pulling the line today. But anyway, they don't want me right out by the grass because they don't want me disturbing the deer if they're here. But this little farm lane goes up, and there's like 3 little chunks of land up here. They need to drive down this road. And I don't know, just because I can't trap out by the grass out there, I thought, well, we'll put some traps along here. I've had them here like 4 or 5 years. And I catch about 1 animal out here a year. And sure enough, a pull day catch. There he is. Looks like a pup probably. He's covered in snow. He must have been literally laying right where he's sitting right now, because that's the only spot that doesn't have snow in it. These sets are super easy to see, so he was definitely not here yesterday. So, but yeah, last day, pull day catch. What we had here, I had just a dirt hole here, and then right here there's actually a pipe dream set. You can see my pipe right there, pipe dream set. I thought it looked like this pipe dream was set off like 2 or 3 days ago probably. So I was out here, both of these sets were still working. I didn't even do nothing with them. I just drove, I could see they were working, I turned around and I left. So, but I'll take it. Pull day catch. So we're on this little short loop of just a handful of traps. I'm actually gonna stop and I'll drop him off at home, just so he don't, 1, he can unthaw, get the snow and ice off of him, and then 2, so he doesn't freeze up. So when I get home from pulling the rest of the line, I can get him skinned right away. So I'll take it. That's number 16 for the year. on a pull day, and this is only like basically 1.25 miles as a crow's flies from our place. So this one here won't be eating any of our deer, that's for sure. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed all those clips kind of stitched together like that. I find it very interesting. To me, I almost like, I noticed some trends and things watching this that I don't really catch on the video showing my day, you know, 1 day's only catch. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this type of video. Whether you do or don't, if you really hate them, put that down in the comments. If you guys don't like them, I'll maybe, you know, I won't do them next year. If you really like these videos, I'd like to hear that too, because if people like them, I'm going to keep doing them. I enjoy them. I don't think a lot of other trappers out there are putting, you know, kind of a full season compilation type video together. So I think it's kind of fun to see what you catch throughout the whole season. So yeah, if you guys have anything else really you guys want to comment on, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below. Otherwise, I think that's all I got for you guys. I just want to say I appreciate you guys watching my videos this season again. Stay tuned over the summer again. There's going to be a lot of how-to type videos coming out over the summer and fall here. Hopefully we all can kind of get ourselves prepared for next season. I'm already kind of scheming for next season, so you know, planning starts months in advance, not just the day I start setting traps. So all right, again, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I appreciate you guys riding around with me all season this season. We'll see you guys on the next one.